Every year, over 8 million tons of plastic waste enter our oceans, threatening marine life and our own health. Welcome to ClimateCode, where we decode the climate crisis and explore solutions for a sustainable future. Plastic pollution has quietly become one of the most urgent environmental challenges of our age. Every day, across the globe, enormous amounts of plastic are used once and then discarded, only to linger in our environment for centuries. Imagine standing on a pristine beach, only to see the sand peppered with colored fragments, bottles, and wrappers. This is not just an eyesore. It's a sign of a problem that threatens wildlife, ecosystems, and even our own health. Plastic was invented just over a century ago, revolutionizing our world in ways no one could have imagined. It offered versatility, durability, and affordability. In the hands of inventors and engineers, plastic became everything from the packaging that preserves our food to the life-saving devices in hospitals. It lightened our cars and airplanes, helped us explore space, and brought clean water to corners of the planet where it was once scarce. Its uses seemed endless. In the aftermath of World War II, plastic production exploded. Modern life, as we know it, would not exist without plastic. But with convenience came a hidden cost. The throwaway culture that plastic supported, single-use bags, bottles, wrappers, and containers, meant that we were producing more than we could ever hope to properly manage. In fact, single-use plastics now make up about 40% of all plastic produced each year. Many of these items are used for just minutes, yet they persist in our environment for hundreds of years. Let's look at the numbers, because they tell a story of their own. More than half of all the plastic ever manufactured has been made since the year 2000. Back in 1950, the world produced just 2.3 million tons of plastic per year. By 2015, that number had soared to 448 million tons. And if nothing changes, production is expected to double again by 2050. Where does all this plastic go? Unfortunately, much of it ends up polluting our land, rivers, and oceans. About 8 million tons of plastic waste escapes into the seas every single year. To picture that, imagine setting 5 garbage bags full of plastic on every single foot of coastline around the planet. It's a deluge, with rivers acting as conveyor belts, carrying waste from inland cities out to sea. Once it's in the ocean, plastic rides the currents, sometimes traveling thousands of miles. On the remote Henderson Island, halfway between South America and New Zealand, scientists found plastic trash from Russia, the United States, Europe, Japan, and China, all washed up on its untouched shores. The problem is global, but it's particularly visible in developing countries across Asia and Africa, where waste collection systems are often inefficient or completely lacking. But no country is immune. Even in the developed world, plastic waste escapes collection and ends up in the environment, thanks in part to low recycling rates and the sheer volume of disposable products. Why is plastic such a problem once it enters our environment? It's because it doesn't break down like organic materials. Instead, it fragments into ever smaller pieces called microplastics. Sunlight, wind, and waves help break plastic into particles less than 1/5 of an inch across. These microplastics have now been found everywhere, from the snowy peak of Mount Everest to the pitch-black depths of the Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the world's oceans. Microplastics aren't just in remote places, they're in our daily lives. They drift through the air we breathe, settle in city dust, and have even been found in municipal drinking water. It's no surprise, then, that scientists are finding them inside our bodies, in our blood, our lungs, and even in our feces. But what does this mean for our health? Researchers are working to understand the risks. Some studies now suggest a link between microplastic particles and heart disease. The additives in plastics, which make them more durable or flexible, can leach out over time, and some of these chemicals are known to be harmful to humans and animals alike. The impact on wildlife is devastating and immediate. Sea turtles mistake floating plastic bags for jellyfish, their favorite food, and die after eating them. Seabirds fill their stomachs with plastic debris until there's no room left for food. Fish and whales ingest microplastics, which then work their way up the food chain, sometimes ending up on our own dinner plates. Communities around the world are beginning to respond. Some governments are taking action, passing laws to ban or restrict single-use plastics. California, for example, is moving to ban all plastic bags by 2026. Other places are experimenting with new materials and innovative recycling programs to keep plastic out of the environment. But the scale of the problem means that no single solution will be enough. It's going to take a massive, coordinated effort by individuals, companies, and governments alike. We need to rethink our relationship with plastic, moving away from single-use products and toward materials that can be reused, recycled, or safely returned to nature. At the same time, we must improve waste management systems, especially in parts of the world where plastic pollution is most visible. Investing in better collection, sorting, and recycling is key to preventing plastic from escaping into rivers and oceans in the first place. Innovation has an important role to play. Around the world, entrepreneurs and scientists are developing new plastics made from plants, which biodegrade safely in the environment. Others are building machines that can turn old plastic into fuel, or inventing enzymes that can break down plastic waste in a matter of days instead of centuries. Education and awareness are crucial too. Each of us can make choices that add up, refusing single-use plastic bags and straws, choosing products with less packaging, and supporting companies that are committed to reducing waste. By demanding change from businesses and policymakers, we can help shift the system toward a more sustainable future. But perhaps most important is the realization that plastic pollution is not someone else's problem. It affects all of us, no matter where we live. The plastic bottle tossed on a city street can be carried by wind and rain into a river, and from there, out to sea. Once in the ocean, it may travel thousands of miles, breaking down into microplastics that enter the food chain. This is a global challenge that requires a global response. The story of plastic is a story of progress and innovation, but also of unintended consequences. It's a reminder that the things we invent and the conveniences we enjoy can have impacts far beyond what we first imagined. But it's also a story of hope, because the solutions are within our reach if we act together. Imagine a world where beaches are clean, where wildlife thrives, and where the oceans are free from plastic debris. Imagine a future where every product we use is designed with its end in mind, where nothing is wasted, and where materials cycle endlessly through the economy instead of ending up as trash. This future is possible. It starts with understanding the problem, and with each of us taking small steps every day. It continues with bold action from leaders and innovators. And it ends with a healthier, more sustainable planet for ourselves and for generations yet to come. Plastic pollution is the environmental challenge of our time. But together, we can rise to meet it, turning the tide on plastic waste and protecting the natural world that sustains us all. The next time you reach for a plastic bag, a water bottle, or a takeout container, remember, the choices we make today shape the world we'll leave behind tomorrow. Let's be the generation that solves the plastic pollution crisis. Let's choose wisely, act boldly, and imagine a world where plastic is no longer a problem, but a lesson. A lesson in how ingenuity, responsibility, and collective action can change the world. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Climate Code for more insights into environmental challenges and solutions. Together, we can decode the climate crisis.